Recently, I've got again a few questions related to the Navamsa, so there is never-ending need to explore this most important chart because it shows very, very interesting parts of our life, which is the luck we have and also the marriage. So the question is how we really read the Navamsa with together with the Rashi chart. So the first thing is that we need to understand that the Navamsa can be read as a separate chart, and then it shows the marriage, and together with the Rashi chart, and then it will show the luck part or the strength part of the chart. This inspiration we get from ancient texts, like for example in Brihad Jataka, there is the whole chapter which is related to the 10th house from the moon Navamsa. So we are taking the planets from Rashi chart, from the main one, and we are analyzing at least the sign. The sign can show the type of a career the person has. For example, my 10th from the moon is Venus, and Venus is in Scorpio Navamsa. In my case, Navamsa is related to type of work. This could be Scorpio, Jyotish, or astrology. So the most obvious way is you can take each planet from the Rashi chart and see how it is in the Navamsa. Does this planet has this inner strength, this support? Because the Navamsa will all show this. We could call it a little bit the moon archetype, the sustenance, the inner thing, and the luck. It has to do prolonged things for a long time. So something may seem strong. For example, you may have strong planets in 3rd or 6th from Arudha Lagna, but if they are weak in the Navamsa, then ultimately they will be cause of your failure or defeat or something like that. It can of course manifest in many, many ways. So you can take your Lagna Lord and see in the Navamsa. So you are analyzing the Avashta, how the planet is strong. The planet is strong in specific signs, like Sun in Aries would be very strong, Sun in Libra would be very weak. Second thing is, how is the house placement? So the Kendra and Trikona are favored as something which is very easy for us, something which is we can get just by our abilities, and this is something the nature is supporting. And of course, the affliction you are seeing by Grahadrishti, Yuti, and Papakartari, all the same things we are using to analyze the curse. And how to interpret the houses, again, it depends how you are approaching the Navamsa. If it's independent chart, then just treat the 7th house as the main house for the marriage, and you can analyze the whole spouse life, treating this as the ascendant. And the same you are doing for a 2nd house for a 2nd spouse, 9th house for the 1st spouse, and so on. So by treating this house ascendant, you can see their work, their parents, and basically everything. And for the all area Navamsa, because when we are analyzing Navamsa together with Rashi, then the Navamsa, just like some type of Drekana and Shastyamsa, will be about all areas of life. Therefore, these most important Vargas will have a say over all areas of life. So then this approach to Navamsa is very interesting, and we are here, the philosophy is coming from the calculations itself, because the calculation is depending on the Kendra, on the movable signs. These are the starting points. Therefore, the Navamsa is all about the Kendra, it's all about the Ayana. Navamsa is showing 4 directions of life. Dharma in the 1st, Moksha in the 4th, Kama in the 7th, and Artha in the 10th house. So these Trikona to these Kendra houses will be supporting that special ayana or direction. So therefore, you know that 7, 3rd, and 11 will show the desires, your libido, your approach to relationship, and all that situations related to this special direction or the marriage, the Kama Ayana. And in this way, you can get the understanding of all of these 12 houses. And also we know that there are the specific houses for some special function. For example, we know 8 and 12 would be very important also for the health. Now the question was also about the ascendant. What shows really the ascendant in Navamsa? So in all Vargas, the Lagna will show the attitude to that specific area of life. So here it would be definitely the marriage. So the ascendant in Navamsa may show your attitude to marriage. And secondly, it will show also the birth circumstances. So for example, we are rectifying the Navamsa. Have you been born in cesarean birth? And then Mars have to say over your Navamsa Lagna and so on. And also the fortune. If you have, for example, Jupiter in the Lagna in Navamsa, you may have fortune from those things. So Navamsa Lagna is also showing the Bhagya, the luck. How about the 12th house and especially the Jupiter? One question was about that. And Jupiter in the 12th house for ladies is not the best position because the Karaka which is related to that Varga, is very important. So Venus and Jupiter, when they are placed in 12th house, they can show a situation when you will be single whole life, you will not have partner, or at least you will end up single. So this could be something like that. The exception is when that planet is also lording your Navamsa Lagna. And that is for all Vargas. For example, in my Navamsa chart, which is related to education, I have Jupiter in the 12th house, which should normally show that I would not have any studies, but I graduated in philosophy, and that is because that's Jupiter in 12 is lording my Siddhamsha, because I have Pisces Siddhamsha, so Lord is Jupiter in the 12th. And the second thing is that the 12 and 8 are about the health. So is that Jupiter strong? Is that weak? You can use that for timing surgeries, and this can give you some additional information about your health. Now, what about the planets? For example, if you have Venus in the 7th, so now the 7th is describing the spouse. This is also a big misconception that this 7 in Rashi is having that function. The 7 in Rashi is showing the attitude, the choices, and the circumstances at the time of marriage, whilst the spouse itself is 7 in the Navamsa. All the Venus traits like skill for art, easygoing, loving parties, loving people. Venus can be also a little bit dramatic. Even the looks, like Venus can give curly hairs and so on, will be very much signified in the spouse. If the house is empty, we are of course taking the Lord, the planets which are joining the Lord. The 7th house, of course, is also related to show the sexuality of the person. So for example, if you have combinations like Mars and Venus, because one question was also related to that, related to the 7th house in the Navamsa, it can give some many relationship, unless there are other things which are deleting that option. There are always exceptions in astrology. Now, what about the Saturn in the 1st house? So in Vargas, we are also using the Maranakarakasthana, so that placement is not the best. Just like all the Maranakarakasthana in the Vargas, in Navamsa, I have found they can be quite serious. So again, unless they are strong, because if they are strong, they can again give you luck, because 1st house is about the Bhagya. But if not, then it can little bit pollute, we could say, your attitude. It could be a little bit too much criticizing, or it can give the other negatives of the Saturn. But again, a lot will depend on the whole yoga. Maybe your Lagna Lord is Jupiter with Venus in Kendra or Trikona, then in one dasha you can excel those traits, and in the Saturn dashas or whatever plans will favor Saturn, you will be supporting that side of you. Now again, many questions about the empty house. In the Navamsa, the Rasi Drishti is very important. So for example, when we talk about 10th house, the access to wealth and Kartari and the Lordship, these 3 yoga formation, we cannot forget, we cannot ignore if we want to have the full picture of what's going on. So if you have empty 10th, but 9th and 11th, the Shubha Kartari is there, or if the Rasi Drishti is there, then these planets will also provide the we could say energy to the 10th house. 1st and 5th are about the skills we get by nature. 9th house will be something which we get by the gurus. For example, I have Ketu there, so all the calculations and mathematics, and also in Jyotisha, I needed that special push or inspiration from my Guruji, from my father, from other people, because the Ketu is not coming naturally. The Sun and Jupiter in my chart, I have in the 1st and the 5th. This can be easily accessed, but the Ketu in 9th, we need some push. So whatever you have in 9th, that will be that dynamic. You may not have any plans there. It's neutral. It's nothing bad. It just means that you don't have skill in that category or circumstances, which will be unpacked for you in this way. Now, very important question about aspect, which aspect we use. So for resources, because the Navamsa is luck, and luck is a type of resource, therefore the Rasi Drishti is a very important aspect. We are using it very much, but Navamsa is also a chart in which we are tracing the affliction, and those afflictions will be seen by Graha Drishti. So now you know that you need to learn both types of aspects, and also you get the knowledge in which scenario use which type of aspect. How do conjunctions are important in Navamsa? So conjunctions are forming the yoga. One planet can make the other joint planet exalted. For example, if Venus is joining the Moon, the Venus will make Moon exalted. Or if Mars is joining the Saturn, then it is making the Saturn debilitated. Also, for example, if Mars is the fire, if Rahu joins, take that air away, and therefore the fire cannot burn. So it frees the Mars. Therefore, we need the Nrsimha mantra to unfreeze the Mars. So all the yogas are quite important in the Navamsa. For example, if you will study this very dark, peripherally evil charts of serial killers, then you will notice that they would have those Mars Ketu or Saturn Rahu, or a Sarpa yoga in the Navamsa will be quite often accentuated there. So based on this experience, we know that this yogas are very, very important in the Navamsa. So conjunction matter very much. Basically, you are interpreting the Navamsa chart in the same way as the Rashi chart, but understanding the nuanced difference in the house importance and meaning. And what about the remedies? We have access to a specific devatas. The Ishta devata is in Navamsa. This is the special form of God which is responsible for your liberation or helping you, supporting you in that. We have Dharma devata, the same type of God which is related to protecting your goals in this life. We have Amatya or Parana devata, which is related to bringing the food to your table, and we have also the Guru devata, which is responsible for your guidance and bringing the Guru, which will give you also the guidance or light. So therefore, these are the specific devatas. Of course, you can remedy the planet in the Navamsa based on the exaltation or debilitation. For example, if you have debilitated planet, then it is showing the Mahavidya. So if it's Saturn, you can remedy that planet by Dakshina Kali. If it's exalted Mars, it can be Nrsimha. So this is how you can approach, how you can get in contact with that devata responsible for that part of karma in your life. So by using the Navamsa and using the Avashta, the strength of planet, we can access this planet by specific devata this planet is related to. Otherwise, we can always take this planet to the Rashi chart, because in the Rashi we can see more type of like a narrative. Like, for example, this planet may be involved in a curse. So then by giving the remedy for the curse or by unblocking the Kalasarpa or Kalamrita, then we are taking care of many, many planets by one remedy. The remedy are ultimately always brought back to the Rashi chart. This is when we are analyzing the curses, and this is also when we can do remedies for the yogas, because ultimately the Rashi chart is showing the point in which the karma is touching us when we are experiencing it. Now, few misconceptions. The first was that the first is showing the Dharma. The Dharma is still in the 9th house in Navamsa. First is more about the Bhagya. Then there was other that the 4th house is showing the bad pleasures. It's again more related to the 7th house. 4th house is Kara, and it is showing, it's a little bit more advanced, but it is also type of problem or health challenge. Now the 6th house is about the money, savings, things like that. 6th house is of course also about that, but it's also showing the pain and it's also is showing the separation. And the last misconception is that 8th house is relating to the home life, how we live at home. 8th house is more about health challenges and about the divorce. If the nice, strong plans are there, it may sustain that first marriage. Okay, guys, so that's it about the Navamsa. I hope this is giving you much more clarity. Thanks for being here. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up to make that video more viral. For one-on-one consultation, you can schedule with this email here. Join our Discord community, and if you are still hungry for more, then please consider watching this one.